What's up, YouTube world? It's your boy J Dub, the number one comment on YouTube, and I'm back with another review. Today, I will be reviewing Love and Marriage DC. This is season 1, episode 6. This is called the Emotional Overload episode. Before I get started, those who are new to my channel, I do reviews on reality shows. I don't hit every single scene. I try to pull out the most important to me or detailed situations to bring it to you. And of course, if I miss something, um, I want you to comment because that's what this channel is all about, the comments. I don't get into the likes or the subscriptions, but I have to have those comments. That's what I do it for. So it is really that serious. And the only thing that I ask while you're in those comments, you just be respectful to each other. Why? Because you're talking to my people, your people, the Dub fam. And you can say anything you want about anything you see on the screen, but just keep it respectful with each other. Family is very important. And again, so let's just go ahead and hop into the review. I felt like I had to really kind of push this one out because I've been so behind, and who knows when I have time to catch up. So we have to make it happen. So I'm sacrificing for y'all to make it to get it out. So let's pick up with the episode started. We see DJ Quicksilver. He's going to the doctor. He's having issues with his wrist. He's having excruciating pain. That's how the Baltimore way, or that's how they say it. Because people probably make fun of the way I talk, but I can't help that. Um, Shout out to AW. I always messing with her with talking about Baltimore or whatever, but I gotta take it lightly because she's one of the fave. Always have my back. Dub family members, but shout out to Baltimore. So the doctor's pretty much telling Quicksilver, saying like she didn't see really anything going on with his wrist or whatever. It kind of looked, like swollen, but nothing like too serious that he should be concerned about. So Quick is pretty much saying that he had a prior diagnosis for gout in the wrist or whatever. And it just seemed like the doctor just went with that. And I mean, in some cases, doctors do. Like, to me, some doctors, let me not put a whole blanket statement on doctors, they don't do a lot. They kind of guess at things and go with things. And where that could be problematic, I know they're supposed to use an educated guess, is that who got time to keep going back to the doctor? Even DJ Quick said, I'm too busy to even be here. So I really get that. And yeah, if you got a good doctor, hold on to that doctor because it ain't a whole bunch of them out there. So it went from nothing serious going on to with his wrist, but now he needs to have like a wrist splint on or whatever. Or if he don't change his lifestyle on this previous gout diagnosis, his wrist might fall off. Well, not even fall off. He ain't gonna be able to use it no more. So that was pretty much it. I don't know if they was like drumming it up for, trying to get us worried or emotionally overloading us or whatever. Who knows? So go to the next scene. We see Arena, and she's playing girlfriend with her daughter Brittany. Now let me stop that. When I say girlfriend, girlfriend's a term. Playing girlfriend, I got that from my little cousin Donique probably 20 years ago when they sitting in the car with her sisters and she telling, let's play girlfriend. I was like, what is playing girlfriend? Girlfriend is when you go out, go to the mall, have drinks, and all kind of stuff. Just what girl, get your nails done and all that. But Raina and her daughter wasn't doing that. They were just having drinks at the bar or whatever. And I gotta say, Arena and Brittany, they look like sisters. They look like mother and daughter type situation. So Brittany was pretty much telling Arena um, about her dealing with Big Jamie and how he handled, I guess, the family dinner when it was family dinner when they was just talking about Jason's future and all that kind of stuff, and how kind of Jamie seems like closed minded and not listening to what the kids say. And as I said, I talked about that, I guess, in my previous with the live video, because coming from a dad's perspective, especially in like an old school dad kind of situation, you know, the dad mode kicks in where it's like, oh, I really know what's best for you, but in the time we do have to evolve as parents and kind of listen to what our children are saying instead of because we know we absolutely want the best for our children, so they just need to listen to us. But that's what Brittany was saying. Like you really have to open yourself, listen to what's going on, and just not being so much dad mode in the situation and like you know what's right for your kid and just kind of listen because Brittany pretty much said previously that she got treated the same way. She was made to go like in a certain field because that was what's best for her. And I thought those were healthy and good conversations because that's like you're evolving. You get to evolve as a parent to start getting away from some of the old school ways where like a child should be seen, not heard. You know, you'd be surprised if you sit down and really talk to your children and listen to them. You know, that's a part of like just being a good manager. So, um, yeah, I think it's like more like a learning curve as because I say I can relate as a dad. Like I always thought that I knew everything, and sometimes you really gotta you do have to listen to your kids. So we see Monique and Chris, they're paying a visit for the first time. They're going to the Silvers household. And I see now why Winter named DJ Quicksilver DJ Fun Size. Because I'm looking at Monique. She's like towering over DJ Quick. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, he is. That's a little guy. He's a little guy. But they're having dinner and it's not the type of setup that you saw at Monique's house. You know, they got look like plated services and um, 5 courses and all that. It looks like some takeout. Look like some shrimp on a plate and some salad. And really, the Ashley was expecting to have like a dinner just to kind of get to know each other better because this is the first time that they're actually coming over to their house. But Monique ended up having like a whole conversation by herself about Winter. And I mean, even I was getting annoyed. It was getting irritated, but I think Ashley played a little bit nicer with Monique because you know who Monique is. The show is Monique's show. It's all about pretty much her. She's the reason why she's on there or whatever. And I was waiting for Ashley to say I'm bored or whatever, but she heard Monique out. Just let her talk herself to sleep or whatever. And I would say I did how what I did like about Ashley. She like held Monique accountable. Like I'm gonna say through the confessionals. Like she was more so questioning like where Monique's motives were coming from or wondering if Monique is just trying to cover for herself or did she really do it or you know she just didn't take it at face value because yeah the point where Winter and Ashley had a breakdown, it was really all about Monique and what she delivered and how she said it and everything because they actually could have had a conversation and kind of worked that out. But another thing I did like what about Ashley, she even deemed herself like from what Winter called her. She was like, well, you know, she spoke and saying I was aggressive, and she's like, well, sometimes I am aggressive. You can call me aggressive, Ashley, and I did like that because you know that's a hot button at times with women. We're like, oh, you can't call a black woman aggressive and all that kind of stuff. Like she knows that at times she could be aggressive, and I'm like, am I going to end up liking Ashley? Because you know, originally I wasn't a huge fan of hers, but it looked like it might come around because I can get with a person who holds themselves accountable and they're being realistic and being truthful and all that kind of good stuff. So Winter, we go to Winter's scene. She's at home with her kids. I don't know if they twins. They kind of look alike or close in age as a boy and a girl. And she's discussing, I guess, the details with them from Mr. Kevin, her former husband, and letting the kids know that the divorce process is moving forward, and they've gone through like a whole lot through I guess in the last 6 months, you know, with the sheriff knocking at their door and trying to, you know, I guess find out what Mr. Kevin is doing and stealing assets and all that from his company and all that. But I thought the conversation was like really down to earth. Like I like the way Winter spoke to her children and tried to like hear them out and see where they were in that situation because like they're going through like a life-changing situation. What I didn't like, it kind of got into like the blame game. We're blaming Mr. Kevin for each and everything that went down. The kids, it's like that new word is going on. Oh, he was just love bombing you, and he was trying to, I guess, get with you or woo you or whatever the case is, and swoop you in. And it's just not your fault. It's not your fault. And I got to think to myself, like, anytime if Winter is a relationship expert and she hasn't seen where her husband lives, lays head, or none of that, she played a part in that dysfunction. Now, we can't say that Winter is the cause of um, Kevin scamming his company out of money to take his kids ice skating. We're not saying that, but the fact of the matter is Winter didn't do her due diligence in the vetting process of finding her husband. So, I didn't like that. Kids like, oh no, Mom, it's not. You didn't do anything. You were just so perfect, and Mr. Kevin did it all. I couldn't get with that part. So, Monique, she's trying to squash the beef with Ashley and Winter. So she puts together like a mediation dinner. And to me, I don't know if it really needed all that because it really wasn't that deep. Because the bottom line, what it boiled down to is, again, Monique inserting herself in a situation and I guess recreating a scenario that didn't happen and just, being messy, putting all types of words and inference on things that didn't even happen. So she really caused that. And even though like a situation where Winter was talking about DJ Quick, DJ Quicksilver, I believe she kind of backpedaled with Ashley in saying that like, oh no, I didn't say anything about I didn't say anything negative about DJ Quicksilver or whatever. I was just mentioning it and all that. And I was like, nah, you was being shady. So you do have to admit that. But overall, I like the way Winter handled the conversation maturely. She wasn't taking things like really personally, and I really like that. She was just trying to like sort it out, and both Winter and Ashley realized that Monique was really what happened or what was the breakdown, because really no one needed to speak for either one. If they had a problem or needed to discuss, they could have discussed it with each other, and that's what it's getting down to. But Ashley was still, you can see that she's like bothered by the things that I guess Winter was implying about Quicksilver, about the rumors, and pretty much saying like, I kind of still have like ill feelings towards you or whatever, and made a point just like, oh, we're still not friends. And Winter took it like on the chin. She was just like moving forward, like, here's the friendship or whatever. I thought she was like really a good sport. And again, I have to point out that Ashley really, really, really sees through Monique's games and being messy, and I didn't know thought I was being messy, whatever. Monique knew what she was doing. So I don't know if it's for the show or that's her personality or what have you. So we get to the couples meet up. They're all meeting up. Irena, Jamie, Monique, Chris, and Quicksilver, and Ashley. And they're meeting at what was this at? The Bethesda Salt House or whatever. And Bethesda is right outside of upper northwest DC. It's almost like DC is on the line. It's a very affluent area. It was a couple of places where like Ready to Love filmed their settings. It's not that, but it's not that far from Potomac. It's like 15 minutes, from Potomac, where all the millions of sexy singles live. But Chris and Monique really live in Potomac for real. And so they're there to meet like Monique's, I don't know if she's a spiritual guider or a type of medium or psychic or whatever going on. When I saw that, I got like real skeptical. I got super skeptical. But it kind of pleasantly surprised me. Like the first thing she got on, she kind of got with Jamie. But before I say or get with how she broke down Jamie, something, because I'm from the area. And I noticed Jamie had the Madness sweat hoodie on. Like, why that means something? Like, Madness is one of the many urban wear that we exclusively wear, like from people from DC. There are many urban wear. They kind of like all are familiar. They have their like different little settings. I said settings, different formats in clothing, but they're like very similar. And we have several. Like Madness is one. Jamie had another shirt on, Shooters, um, All Days, DDTP, Hobo, all that kind of stuff. Why that's big, like we recognize because like we only wear that, like the people from this area, like, and when you see it, you kind of it goes so deep in that, like when you see the names of like Shooters, Hobo, All Days, Madness, all that, you kind of have a connection with the people running the company, as I told you. And it's, I can't say for all the heads of the company, but some of the company heads used to be, let's say, former hustlers of the crack era or whatever the case may be. So then now they're entrepreneurs making it legit. And when you see like somebody rocking a certain thing, you like, oh, they support or represent the people. Some people in certain neighborhoods just wear certain wear, and some people support the people. Like me personally, I mean, I have all that gear, or have had all that gear. I really rock with All Days for Kurt Bone. You know, that's my thing. But yeah, looking at that Madness shirt, we used to wear the Madness hats. I got one. I should have brought it with me. Like those sold just like crack. I mean, and back in the '80s, I mean, everybody had a Madness hat. I mean, you had 2 or 3 hats, and you put the Madness sign on it, put your name on it, all that kind of stuff. I mean, it was huge. I mean, they probably made $1 billion off those hats. But let me not go too far in history, but let's go to the breakdown of Jane with the psychic medium or whatever she's going. She went right on and got on Jamie. It was talking about like she's getting like that bulldog feel off of Jamie, like he has an issue with aggressiveness, and I really could relate to what he said, what the psychic was saying, because like, you know, y'all see it on camera. Your boy, me too. I used to be that way. I used to be a lead with aggression, and I think it comes from like coming from this area. You have to be assertive, but in a sense, also you have to be laid back to stay safe and quiet. But when somebody brings it to you, you have to bring it even more. It's like a natural thing, like because more so we don't look for trouble, but you bring it to us, you're gonna get twice the trouble. And that's where it comes from. And sometimes it's hard to turn off in your relationships, like dealing with your spouse or your children. So I really understood like what she was saying, when like you it can also come from like some insecurities that you have. If you feel like you're not in control, or somebody's trying to play you like you weak or whatever, that aggression comes on and hits hard. And sometimes it's hard to turn off. And the psychic even mentioned like you look through a situation like, wow, why did I really go there? Why did I take it there? Because when that thing turned on, I mean, I get it. Like I said, it might be a thing from the area. Not all of us are like that, but a lot of us are like that. It's like a survival type of mode that you get in. And again, it's hard to turn off even with different relationships. Luckily, I went been through therapy to work on that, and knowing that you can't handle your people like you do people in the street. And even the people in the street, you gotta learn to deal with them in another way, because you ain't about the street life. You about progressing in life. So like that really hit home. I definitely could really relate to what the psychic was saying. And like I said, I don't even get into the psychic thing and all that, because I know it's another type of spiritual world and all that, but I don't really get into that. I don't really believe in that. But I could tell she was hitting the nail on the head. And Arena said, yeah, you are explaining this man 100% correctly. And I'm like, I felt that. I felt that. That made sense. So the medium gets on DJ Quicksilver, and she pretty much touched on Quicksilver's trauma like at the age of 9. Like now you could Google something like that, but the way she broke it down, like I really finally understood where Quicksilver was coming up. I kind of wrote him off of like, oh, Quick just liked to be a player, or he liked to be out in the street like that. He loved the party life, forget the family and the wife and all that kind of thing. But now we learned that Quick is like really emotionally stuck in his childhood. And that's pretty scary because this man has a whole family, and as the psychic medium said, he's not even living deep. He's straight on the surface, and he has the pain of losing his mother and his father at a young age, and he kind of works to not even deal with real life. So this man is just trying to get through life and bury himself into work, but he's bringing home the money, and you can see that with most people, money really only take care of money problems. Like when people love you and want to be around you, they want your presence. They're not really stuck on the money part. But that's his coping mechanism, as he said. And now I finally got it. I was just like, oh, he just like to be with the girlies, out in the parties, and living the single life, while he's married. But no, I get it now. The man is running from the pain that he has not dealt with throughout his whole entire youth. That's crazy. That's crazy. So I hope in seeing this that Quick does get some type of professional help to get him to deal with his pain and try to live deeper than he was. So like I said, it was something. I thought it was powerful. I thought it was powerful. And like I said, I really don't get into the psychic thing like that, but I felt it. I felt it. And he was also saying like how people used to come down on his dad and saying like he's making terrible decisions, or like supporting Quicksilver and being a DJ, and it's like everybody, he need to get a real job and all that. And he said he wished his dad could have lived to see everything come together by supporting his dream, and that's huge, and that's so huge. And like Quick said, his father was gone. Then Country Chris come in, mess it all up. He like, hey, Quick, I think he sees you. I think he sees you. I'm like, shut up, Chris. But anyway, he was only trying to help. Country Chris can't help himself. He just rich. Anyway, and I like how the median kind of jumped all over the place. She just went, and then she got on Arena's situation, and she started talking about bread and putting the peanut butter on the same way. I guess a certain way. I guess she was using it as an analogy, like everything has to be perfect in Arena's life. And like I said, I like that analogy as well, because Arena was saying like she feels like a lot of pressure to be perfect, like perfect wife, perfect mother, look perfect, just, and that would be a lot of pressure on anyone. And she was like she was touched, she was hurt by that. It was like overwhelming, and Jamie like hit her leg, and it was like funny, and it wasn't funny in a sense, because I'm like, it was like just how the medium said. She got down to Jamie, she got in his face. She's like, hey, yeah, I just seen you just do this like a little kid, like you hit her, like, hey, stop that. And that's exactly how it was. And then that, it was just like you could tell they're extra close. Like Jamie and Arena are best friends, but that's what not Arena didn't need that in that moment. As Arena explained in her confessional, I needed a hug instead of you punching me. Not that he did something violent towards her, because he was like, "Yeah, stop that." And he didn't understand. It's just that Jamie needed to be a little more emotionally in tune with Arena, because, like I said, it comes down to the way a lot of us grew up. We were not allowed. We were taught as young boys, and like you're not supposed to cry. You're not supposed to be emotional and all that. I'm naturally emotional because I'm a Pisces, but still, I was told and had to like push my emotions down because we were taught you be a man, be tough. You like almost you can't feel. So when people are feeling things around us, we can't relate. We can't tap into it, and that's the thing. You have to. That's the thing you have to learn to work on. And as I said, it comes from a habit. A lot of us can't or have not deal with our own emotions, so it's hard for us to deal with other people's emotions, even if it's our wife or our mothers. It look like weird, like, oh, why are you crying? And that's exactly how Jamie reacted. Like, I didn't even hear nothing to see it, like, had you crying. But like I said, I get it all the way around. And like I said, I appreciated the psyche, the way she broke it down in the situation of saying, like, hey, I need you to, like Arena said, I need him to step it up in supporting her emotionally. And I mean, it was like a powerful, like, and that those type of situation leads to more communication and improving in that way, because none of that stuff happens overnight. But like I said, I was really into it. You know what? But I was listening. I really couldn't understand what Monique and Chris's thing was, like their breakthrough. So if y'all get down in the comments, help me out, because I know some of y'all got it. I did not get it, and I didn't see anything with the doctor about breaking Ashley down. Maybe they didn't show it and she did it, but I would like to have seen what she would have to say about Ashley. So pretty much, the episode ends with Quick and his two brothers. They're at his father's gravesite, and they're just going over their childhood. But they also, Quick has a letter, I guess like a goodbye letter to all of them from their mother, because she was dying of cancer. And I mean, it was a very vulnerable moment for Quick. He's reading the letter, and he was just saying, by seeing that, like, how you could lose somebody just like that, he's gonna make an extra effort to spend more time with his brothers. And then, like I said, more realistic anything, he like, for real, I don't have time now, but because I need to make time for my wife and my children. But I don't know how I'm gonna make the time for my brothers, but I will. Maybe we'll see me at a club or something going on. But first and foremost, I owe this time to my wife and children. And I really like that. Like, Quick really has it. So before, I thought he was just running on purpose. Quick has been avoiding things, but he know what he needs to do. But he has to deal with that pain and clean things up. So it was very emotional for him and his two brothers at the gravesite, losing their mom and their father. I didn't see his mother's grave there, but it looked like it just referring to his father, and just wanted to make sure that they were making their parents proud. And I mean, that's just a good feeling. Like, personally, I don't do the grave sites. I'm just, because I always put my feelings in there or whatever, because I feel like if that's my people down there, I got to take them up out of there. But yeah, it was super emotional, and I see what they call it, emotional overload, because there was a lot going on. They tapped into a lot of, like, the realness of their lives. So that was pretty much it. And yeah, like I said, this episode was kind of heavy, but this is what we need. This is what we look for: people's real life, like what's going on with them or their past, and what makes them how they are right now. So drop down in the comments. Tell me what you thought. Some things I missed. Let's talk about this, because this was one. I felt this episode. This was good for me. I felt like we had some true realness going on. So, as I always tell y'all could be anywhere in this YouTube world, but you're here with me. I really appreciate it, and I really mean it.